What methods do you recommend to your students, and why do you recommend those methods?
Yeah, the methods that I recommend is really based on what's the easiest to conquer the mind, to purify our conditioning. Whichever way is the easiest. It's important to follow those ways that's easy, because this is a very challenging endeavour to conquer. And if it's difficult, and we find it's already difficult, but we make it more difficult methods, then there's no chance. So therefore, if it's easier, it's more simple, then the techniques, the practice, then allows you to do more quality practice and more quantity practice, which means the methods, the techniques, spiritual practice techniques allows you to be in the present moment with quality, actually bring you to the present moment. That's quality, see? And more quantity means you can do it longer, many hours in a day, many hours to be in the present moment. You're actually in the present moment and you know it, that's quality. And you can be able to do it for many hours in a day, that's quantity. So, whereas a practice that's less, it's less simple, it's more complicated, then it's more difficult to actually be in the present moment and you know it. And also it's very difficult to do it for long, many hours a day. So the practices that I recommend, really the first practice is to be in the presence of a spiritual master, because that is the easiest. You don't have to do anything, you know. That helps you. The master's presence helps bring you to the present moment. And if you hang around the master for long, all day, every day, for many years, see, that's quantity. So that's the best. And then you got, for example, mantra practice. And that is a very simple practice. That all you have to do is concentrate, you know, either on the sound of the mantra or the form of the object of the mantra, the goal, the form. So one or the other, whichever way you're good at, and just focus on that. One chant, one repetition at a time. One repetition at a time. You're hearing the chant of the mantra. You're chanting it, you're hearing it. Anyone can do that. So, see, it's very simple. If anybody says that's difficult, they don't know what they're talking about. Because if the mantra was Tom, if I say Tom, I can hear that. Tom. See? Tom. I heard that. Tom. I heard that. Tom. See? That can't be difficult. I can't say I can't hear that. That's a practice. You see? And anyone who has motivation can just do that for hours, every day. as simple as that. And the other practice one can do is selfless service, where you are serving the world, serving the Master wholeheartedly, without thinking anything for yourself, without thinking any benefit you get, all for the other, all for others. Then in that process you kind of lose yourself, your ego self. So anybody can do selfless service. In an ashram, for example, pull a weed, one weed, that's called selfless service. An ashram. Chop onion, that's selfless service. To boil a kettle, to walk the dog. Nobody cannot do that. Nobody says, oh, I've struggled with that. Anyone can do that. So therefore, simple, easy. You can do many hours, you see. So they're the essential principle and some practices that I teach.
So you've spoken about the methods you teach. Are there other things that you teach in a nutshell?
Essentially, if a person just does one of those practices, just one of those practices, just mantra alone. They say just mantra alone, you can attain enlightenment, just practice mantra alone. And they say selfless service alone, just selfless service, you can attain enlightenment from just that practice. You see? So, and they say to be with a Master, at the feet of the Master, and you're open in the presence of the Master. And like this, for many, many years, you can attain enlightenment that way as well. So there's, all you need is one, but I'd shared 3. If a person wants to know more, then I guess they have to come and speak to me in person. Because there's so many, but the goal is not to have too many. All you need is one car to get you from A to B, not 2. If you have 2, then you're playing it safe. If you have 3, then for sure you're going to get from A to B. If one breaks down, you got the second breaks down, you got the third. So you hardly need more than that. So if the person wants to know more, then they have to meet me in person.
And is that the way you walked your spiritual path, by doing those things?
Yes. Essentially those practices. And a few others. But essentially they're the main practices.